What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to deal with dates with Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to look at dates. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. All right, so in this video, we're going to make this silly little program that says, don't panic, there's only 91 days left in 2020. So it's going to count down days. And we're also going to look at how to just deal with dates. So here it says Wednesday, September 30th, 2020, which is today. This is all done automatically. I didn't type that in there. We're going to use Python to figure out what the current date is, what the current day is, and do some stuff like that in this video. Like I said, we're going to count down, pick this 91 days thing. So every day this will update if you keep this program running. I don't know why you would want to, but it's still kind of fun nonetheless. I don't know about you, but I am ready to be done with 2020, and I am glad to know that there are only 91 days left in 2020. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So let's head back over to our code. I've got a file called panic.py. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor and the Git Bash terminal as always. So we've got just our basic starter code here, no big deal. And to do dates with Python, this is not really a Tkinter thing, this is more of a Python thing. We need to use a module or a library called datetime. So let's go from datetime. We want to import date, right? So make sure these are all lowercase. And this comes with Python. We don't have to install this, but we do have to import it into our program here. Okay, so let's start out by creating that green label at the top of the program. So I'm going to call this panic, and this is a label. And we want to put it in root. We want the text to equal don't panic, right? And we want the font to equal, let's make this Helvetica, and give this a size of like, I don't know, say 42, make it really big. And then we want to make the background color black, and we want to make the foreground color green. And you know, you can make these any colors you want, but that works for me. So let's go panic.pack. Let's give this a pad Y of 20 to push it down the screen a little bit. I also want to give it some internal padding, so the text isn't right up to the border of the label. So I'm going to go iPad X equals, and let's just give this 10 pixels. And let's go iPad Y equals 10 as well. So, okay, let's go ahead and save this and run it real quick just to make sure that looks okay. So Python panic.py. And it says don't panic, and you can see the padding, the iPad X, the little padding here and here and here and here. The regular pad X or pad Y pushes the whole thing down 20 pixels, and that's cool. So, okay, no big deal there. We already know how to do stuff like this. So now let's talk about dates. So to get the date, I'm going to create a variable called today. And this is just date.today. And this is a function. And this will give us today's date, right? So let's create a label really quickly. And I'm going to call this today_label. And this is a label. We want to put it in root. We want the text for now to just say today, which is this variable, right? And let's go today_label.pack and give this a pad Y of 20. Just push it down the screen a little bit. So let's just run this and see exactly what this date.today is returning, right? So if we run this, you see it's returning 2020-09-30. So this is the year 2020. This is the month, September 09. And today's date is the 30th. Now, that's not that useful to me. I like it to be more readable. And we have to sort of use something called a strftime function, string ftime, to manipulate how we want this to be returned. So we could do that. And to do that, I'm going to head over to the web browser and just let's go to strftime.org. So you'll see what this strftime thing is in a minute. But here, it's just a very basic little website that shows us all the things we can use to format our date, right? And you can see here's what we use, and this is the output. So if we use this %A, it will output the date as a word, like Monday. Today's Wednesday, so it would be Wednesday. If we want to use, September instead of 09, we would use this %B. So how do we use this thing? So it's really, really easy. We can come back over here and let's create another variable called, I don't know, f underscore today, because we're going to do a f string here, right? So to do this, we just call today, which is our variable we just created here that is holding today's date, right? We go today dot strftime, and then just inside of here, we create a string, and we can put whatever ones of these things we want, right? To sort of format this in any way that we want. So, okay, that's easy. Let's go, I want this A, which is, it'll say the day. So today's Wednesday. Then I want a dash. And then let's go %B, uppercase B. And notice uppercase B versus lowercase b. For all of these, uppercase versus lowercase is significant. So if we look here, so uppercase B will put September. Lowercase b will put SEP, like an abbreviation. That's usually how it goes. Like uppercase A will put out Monday. Lowercase a will put out MON, like an abbreviation for it. So, okay, we want B. Let's see, we also want D. This is the day. So it's going to say Wednesday, September 30. So this is D. So I can just copy this and paste that in. And I want a comma to appear. So Wednesday, September 30th, comma. Now let's put the date, like the year, which is %Y. And we could see that if we come back here and look through here, here's %Y, it'll put the date. So you could play around with this page, use all of these different things. And there's some stuff we'll look at down here, like the J, day of the year, as a number, right? So there's 365 days in the year. If we want to know what day today is, which is, I don't know, 280th or something, that will return that. And that's what we're going to use in a minute to do our countdown. But there's all kinds of other cool things you can look at. So I'll leave it to you to look through here and sort of play with these things. But for now, let's just head back to our code and output this thing. So for our label here, instead of today, let's put F today. So a formatted today. And let's go ahead and run this. And now we see Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. And you'll notice the dash and the comma, that's just a dash and a comma that I put in there. We could change that to anything we want. If we wanted, instead of a dash, if we wanted a bar, we could do it like that. If we saved it, now there's a little bar, Wednesday bar, right? So whatever you want, because this is still just a string. So we can put anything. We could put hello in there if we wanted to. If we save this and run it, that would be silly, but you could do it. Wednesday, hello, September. So it's just a regular string, except for these sort of like escape characters, right? So let's change that to a dash. Okay, so let's change this. And let's do a little bit of formatting. So let's go today is, and then pass in our F today. Okay, so that's just fun date stuff. Now let's work on our countdown. So let's go countdown. And here, let's go get date. And let's go format, date, and output date. Get silly with my commenting. I try and comment more and more because, comments are important. So, okay, so let's start out by creating some variables. The first one is days in year. We know there are 365 days in a year. So let's just assign that to a variable now. So let's go today, today's underscore day number. What number is today? If there are 365 days in the year, what is today? Today is the 280th day of the year or the 250th day of the year. I'm not sure what it is, but let's find out what it is. So let's go, I'm gonna come up here to this, and I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it in here, but instead of all of these, I'm just gonna put J. So if we come back over here and look at J, here's J and negative J. Day of the year is a 0 padded decimal number. So, 273. If today's date was the 273rd day of the year, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it will return that, right? So, okay, we could do that. Now this is gonna return sort of a string, and we need this to be an integer because we're gonna do some math here. So I'm just gonna wrap this whole thing in an integer function to convert it to an integer, right? And if we're curious, let's go countdown underscore label, and that's gonna be a label. We wanna put it in a root. We want the text to equal today's day number. And let's go countdown label dot pack and give this a pad y of 20 just to push it down. I'm just curious what today's day is. So let's output this onto the screen and run this just to see. So we can run this. Oh, close. Today is the 274th day of the year. Look at that. The example is the 273rd day. Wow, that's freaky. That's kind of eerie. All right. So, okay, so today is the 274th day. Now, if we want to know how many days are left in the year, all we have to do is subtract 365 minus 274, and that'll give us how many days are left in the year. So we can do that very easily. So let's go calculate days left in year. So to do that, we could go, let's create a variable called days left. And that's going to be days in year minus today's day number, right? Which is just this minus that, right? So days left. So now down here, output days left, we could change this to an F string. And we want to output this onto the screen, where we could type there are only, and then pop that in there, days, and I'm going to put this on a separate line, so we'll put a little line break in there, left in 2020. Right? And let's make this maybe a little bigger. So let's go font equals Helvetica, and let's give this a size of like 20 just to make it a little bigger. And we've already packed this onto the screen, so we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and save this and run it. There are only 91 days left in 2020. And there we go. So don't panic. There's only 91 days left. And hopefully we get through 2020 without anything else crazy happening. But what are the odds? It's 2020, so we'll have to see. All right, so let's look at this code again one more time really quickly. So super easy to do datey stuff in Python and Tkinter. And like I said, this is not a Tkinter thing. This is just a Python thing. So datetime is a part of Python. You can Google the Python docs if you want to learn more about datetime and date. But, you know, this will tell us today's date. And then we could just use strftime to format it however we want. And if you want to know what all these little things are, just head over to strftime.org, right? So that's easy to remember. And check out this little chart, super easy. I don't know who did this, but it's very useful. It's the only thing on this webpage, really. Some links to strf documentation in Python if you want to read more about it, and that's cool. So that's all for this video. If you'd like to be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off memberships. I pay just $49 to access all my courses, over 45 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Alder from Codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.